Hi, hello. Mugen Train arc. Have you heard of it? So the Mugen Train arc is a story arc within Demon Slayer, the anime / manga, but although I'm going to be talking about the anime. I watched the Mugen Train arc just a little while ago and I've got a lot to say about it, so I want to talk about it today. If you have never seen Demon Slayer, it is a manga series originally adapted into an anime show. This story is about the humans versus the demons in this world, and our main character, Tanjiro Kamado, has joined the Demon Slayer Corps, which is a body that is dedicated to fighting demons. If you haven't seen or read Demon Slayer, I would recommend not watching this because, first of all, there's going to be spoilers, I guess, essentially, for the whole previous part of the series, but also you're not going to know what the hell's going on. It's a shonen anime. I would recommend it if you've never seen it, but like I said, you probably won't want to watch this. So anyways, so I know I'm like 2 years late to this. Like, I know Mugen Train came out a while ago, but I only just saw it. I only just started the show. I will say that I started to like Demon Slayer before this point. I was kind of lukewarm to it at first, and I had to keep like pushing through. I kept stopping and starting at first, but then I finally got to a point where I was like into it and I was getting it and I was getting the point of the story, and I feel like it was kind of finding its footing and all this stuff, so I was getting into it. But when I watched this, dude, this show is good. Like, it's good. This totally solidified my investment in this series. If other arcs are even as good as this one, or better, I will be totally happy. So just disclaimers, this is about the anime. I haven't read the manga, so if there's like little differences, I'm just talking about the anime. I also watched the 7 episodes. I didn't watch the movie. It was easier for me to watch the episode, so that's just what I did. So if I talk about things that weren't in the movie, I'm guessing most of the content was in the movie. As far as I understand, it's mostly just like the first episode that wasn't in the movie. So I don't think there's going to be too much different there, but just, you know, context. So this is mostly going to be spoiler free. If you haven't watched this arc, you'd be fine watching the spoiler free part, but then I will have a spoiler section at the end of this video. So let me just say, I absolutely loved Mugen Train, the Mugen Train arc. It was incredible. Demon Slayer is my new obsession now. So right from the beginning of this arc, when I started the first episode, I could just feel that it was different from everything I'd seen before in the first season. I could tell that so much care was being put into this. I was really excited. The editing, the animation, the writing, the art, the music, it was all just, it seemed on another level. And I could just tell this was going to be big. Like, they really cared about this. The animation in this was just on another level. This might be some of the most beautiful animation I have seen from an anime at this point. It was just so good. It was so fluid. It was really easy to follow, especially the battle animation and the fight animation was really clean. It was really, really good. A+ work to the animators. The music, I also just want to talk about the music because it feels a little bit different than the first season. Like, it's kind of got the same spirit behind it, but this just felt so, the music was so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It really felt like a movie soundtrack versus just like a TV show soundtrack, where I think the composer usually comes up with like maybe a few themes, but it's not created for specific moments. Like, it is, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's a little different between the two. So it really felt like a movie score here. And I think that's probably due to the fact that it was first released as a movie. So I applaud that. The music was really dramatic and mysterious. It just fit the tone really well. And I just loved it. I really think that music, that score, can elevate your emotions. And that's part of why I love visual media so much, is just because you get that music element. And I just think it was executed so beautifully here. So the main focus on this arc was obviously Kyojuro Rengoku, who is a Hashira, which means he's one of the top demon slayers in the Corps. He's the flame Hashira, which means that he uses the flame breathing technique. That's his fighting style. So he's got a lot of like fire imagery around him. You can see it in his hair, his clothes, the way he fight, the animation, you know, when he fights, all that kind of stuff. It's very fire. And I love that we're shown his skill right away in the first episode. So you can see he's really powerful. He's really competent. It just sets him up. It sets his character up really well. And you can tell that we're going to be in good hands with him because he's he's good. And despite Rengoku only having been introduced a few episodes earlier in season 1, and very briefly too, this arc made me care so deeply about him in just this short amount of time. And this was possible because a lot of the character work for the other main characters had already been done in the first season. So I like that they let, Tanjiro and Inosuke and Zenitsu take a step back for at least a little while so they could bring Rengoku front and center to introduce him and set him up with the audience. Very effective. In fact, we don't even see, as far as the episodes go, we don't even see the main characters until the very end of that first episode. So I was surprised about that, but I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm into it. I'm with him. Okay, so quickly I'll just talk about Tanjiro as the main character. I do like him as the main character in this show, and I liked him in this arc too. I just like that he's got so much compassion. He's just a really, really good person, and I love that. I love following him. That kindness, that goodness never wavers for him. Even here, it never wavers. And I like that he's good, but he's also really strong at the same time. Strong of spirit, strong of mind. He's a good combination of traits. So it's very inspiring to follow him. I'll talk a little more about him in the spoiler section, but that's what I have to say for Tanjiro as of now. I like Tanjiro a lot. Okay, the villain of this, Enmu, great villain. I hate him. He's really creepy. He's disturbing AF, okay? This guy's the worst. He brought out the right amount of animosity and disgust from me. So it's effective because I want him to be defeated. So I want to watch to see that. I also just want to quickly talk about in this section some of the criticisms of Demon Slayer that I have seen thus far and that almost made me give up on the series entirely. At the beginning of the story of Demon Slayer, it was really hard for me to get into. As I said earlier, I just kept stopping and starting because I just wasn't connecting with any of it. And obviously I'm really glad I continued because I love it now. It's so good. I looked up online to see what other people's opinions of the story were because I just wanted to see if people said it gets better, and at what point, what arc I could look forward to for it really getting better, what episode, for it to find its footing and all that stuff. And a lot of what I was seeing was that people were saying it never really gets better. It stays the same. It kind of stays consistent the whole time. It stays pretty mid the whole way through. It never picks up. You're not going to like it, all this kind of stuff. So now having seen the Mugen Train arc, I absolutely do not understand that criticism because for me, the show definitely gets exponentially better. I don't think it was bad to start out with. It's just that, I don't know, there was something about it that I wasn't loving. But even then, it absolutely gets so much better. It gets to be such a strong story that I don't understand how people say it stays mid the whole way through. I don't get it. I already personally think that Demon Slayer was getting good by the end of the first season. For me, it kind of got reinvigorated a little bit when Zenitsu and Inosuke were introduced in the, what's it called? The mansion, Suzumi Mansion arc. That's when I started really getting into it and getting engaged with it. But I think that the show is so good. I think that it's a really good story. I'm really enjoying it. I'm very happy with it. Anyways, that's all I have for the spoiler-free section. Completely recommend Demon Slayer if you haven't seen it. At least get to the Mugen Train arc. It's not that much of an investment, I swear. It was really good. Okay, spoiler section. So I just wanted to add in the spoiler section because I want to talk about some really specific moments from this arc. So first of all, I want to talk about the lead-in to this arc at the very end of the first season where Kibutsuji was convening with all of his demons, the lower six, I think it was all the lower six, or the lower 1 through 6, you know what I mean? Where he was convening with them all in that what do they call it? The infinite castle or something like that. But anyways, that whole sequence was really, really well done. Oh my gosh, it was so creepy. The way that it was directed was just incredible. The shots, the way that it was all edited together, the cinematography of it, you could call it, was just so effective at getting me really unsettled. And you could really just feel the horror of demons in that sequence. It was really, really good. Okay, so I want to talk about Tanjiro a little bit because I said I wanted to talk about him more. There were some moments that happened in this arc that really helped connect me to his character even more. So I spoke before about his strength of soul, his strength of heart, his strength of mind. The fact that in his dreams, he himself, every time I don't want to say it because of, YouTube rules, But every time he does that in his dreams, oh my gosh, like, could you imagine how hard that would be? And he just does it without hesitation. He's like, this is the right thing to do. I need to get out of this dream. So he does it. Amazing. He put himself through it every time because he knew that he needed to save the people on that train. This is what I mean when I say he's a very strong person. Also, when the person that invaded Tanjiro's dreams couldn't even destroy his core because it was so beautiful, I was like, this makes so much sense for this character. Like, it makes so much sense for Tanjiro that his soul essentially is like, I guess kind of what that would be that beautiful that you just be overcome with emotion when you see it and you can't even destroy it. So I think it made sense. It was also very effective. Also, towards the end, when he didn't want the train engineer that, he didn't want him to die, and he also didn't want himself to die because then the engineer would feel bad and feel guilty. I was like, you're too nice. Come on, dude, have a little bit of self-preservation. But he does, obviously. But, it was just funny. I was like, oh, you're too good. Also, the scene where Tanjiro and Inosuke actually defeat Enmu, like where they actually find him and defeat him, horrifying animation, first of all. But it was also really good. It was so exciting. I loved it. It was really well done. And then, I have to talk about this, but Rengoku, no, dude, why did they make me care about him so much? And then now he's dead? You can't do this to me. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I mean, his whole death scene, that whole fight scene between him and the Akaza was incredible, incredibly animated, incredibly emotional, and just seeing everyone's reactions to it and how horrified they are, incredible. And his whole death scene was just really so freaking sad. You think it's all fine and good. They succeeded, the train is saved, and then that freaking guy, the upper three demon, shows up, and you know that shit's about to go down. Damn it. We were one day from retirement. And then his speech, like right as he dies, like right before he dies, oh my freaking God, so sad. I was bawling during it. Of course I was. Who wasn't? Set your heart ablaze. His smile right as he died when he saw his mother. Great writing, let me say. And the fact that even Inosuke cried and was upset. No, dude, that was too much. That was too much. Also, the fact that he was going to take them on as his Tsuguko, is that what they're called? Tsuguko, his apprentices. I was like, oh, that's so nice. This can't end well. I just love Rengoku. Oh my gosh. He was amazing. And of course, when the Demon Slayer core master guy, when he was talking about how Rengoku, like, he did his duty honorably. No one on that train lost their life thanks to him. King. That's king behavior. So anyways, that's all I have to say about Mugen Train. It was incredible. Oh my God, so good. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still obsessed with it. So I'm on to the Entertainment District arc next. I will probably make a video about that, I assume, if it's even as good as Mugen Train. I want to scream about it on the internet. So if you watched Mugen Train or read it even, I would love to know what you thought of it. Let me know. Anyways, that's all for me. Until next time, have a really, really great day. Farewell.